Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with the Game Theorists. Today's game theory is, what is Minecraft's suspicious stew? Yes, I don't even want to know. Like, doesn't it make... I don't know. Doesn't that make you sick or something in the game? And without further ado, let's go check it out. Be sure to subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
What is suspicious stew? In Minecraft, it's a mysterious food that gives you one of several status conditions depending on the ingredients you put in. But have you ever wondered what this magical bowl of food would actually taste like? Well, today, we're going to find out.
Good luck.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that, if you drink it, gives you a special power. The power to subscribe. And guys, I'm just gonna say it. I love Minecraft. I love the mechanics, I love the world, and I especially love the lore that we've been uncovering over the last several years. But despite everything we've accomplished on this channel, there is still one question that I have been unable to answer. What does suspicious stew taste like? Normally, when you get a stew, you understand what it tastes like. Based
pretty
purely
obvious
on the name. Beef stew, chicken stew, even in Minecraft you have rabbit and mushroom stew. But suspicious stew is named purely based on the fact that from just looking at it, you don't know what status effect it's going to give you. And so, from what I could tell, no one has ever really figured out what it's supposed to taste like. So today, I wanted to end that mystery. But not just in theory. I wanted to actually get hands-on and taste it for myself. The problem is, I'm not a food guy. Sure, I love me some good research, and I'm not exactly bad in the kitchen, but this is getting to a level of foodie that I am not
good luck with that.
handle. I needed help from a friend of the channel, someone whose opinions I could trust, someone who knows their way around weird ingredients and crazy recipes. Sorted food. What? You thought I was gonna say Santi? No, I need actual chefs. And so here we are.
Man, talk about... That's just a low blow, dude. Sheesh. Well, anywho, let's see what this stew looks like. Just curious how they're gonna make this.
We are here in the kitchen with the boys from Sorted. We have Ben and we have Mike. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Nice to meet you guys.
Quite an interesting one.
Thank you for flying us all the way from the UK to Miami on your credit card.
You're most welcome. Honestly, it's just nice to have some British voices again. This is where I was a little bit facetious in the beginning. While I say no one has really tried this, Mojang has, which sounds like the end of the episode. I promise you it's not. Hold tight. We have
It's just
the
like
official
early mode?
Minecraft cookbook.
As published, as written, as to be copied.
And then a little bit further in, I believe,
what is
is
it?
our
Here we go.
suspicious stew. So if you have a look at that, what are your initial thoughts?
Vegan mushroom lentil stew, healthy and hearty. I mean,
What?
yeah, great.
It's pretty straightforward.
But Mojang went a step further. They made these. This
What?
is the official
Pringles?
collaboration between Pringles and Minecraft in suspicious stew
Really?
flavor. This was from 2022.
We love eating out-of-date food.
So,
Oh boy, good luck.
what are you getting?
Yeah, it's suspicious. What?
Quite dusty, quite earthy.
If that's what they're claiming, suspicious
I mean,
stew
it
flavour
is, you know,
it's
expired.
never
Can you blame them?
savoury.
Not exactly the suspicious flavor any of us were expecting. If anything, it was just a generic
True.
savory flavor thanks to the onion powder, garlic powder, tomato powder, and paprika. Although there were some ingredients that were a little more on the sus side.
All the usual things you'd expect to find in here, like disodium guanylate, disodium inositol.
None of those sound like ingredients.
And this is where we come into today's episode, because both of these are wrong. Says who? Says me, and their own freaking game. Because this is the actual recipe.
2 mushrooms, a flour, and a
Bowl.
That, a cow pat?
It's a bowl. So, yes, 2 mushrooms, a flour, and a bowl make suspicious stew. The recipe book got way too much going on. This doesn't have any mushroom in it, and you love mushroom powder. Why is that not in there?
That's true. Do you reckon we can make a stew from just 3 ingredients?
I'm kind of interested to see whether we can. Unfortunately, it's a little more complicated than
Yeah.
just following the recipe in Minecraft, because some of those ingredients are not safe to consume. This
Yeah, the
red
red
one
tails-
is fly agaric. Definitely poisonous.
Yeah,
Please
no,
do not
don't do
serve
that,
to
don't do
us.
that.
But from what I could research, people have been bold enough to boil it and use it for hallucinogenic purposes. And They say it has a
be
typical
why.
mushroomy flavor, which what does that mean? There's so
Umami.
many. But it's got a slight
don't know.
sweetness to it.
Probably
That's
that.
probably going to be where that shift has to happen. From there, we get into the
else?
flowers because, again, it's not actually one flower. There are 12 that
So
you
this
can
is
use.
flowers as a category.
Basically,
Kind
it's just
of.
Pretty
botany.
much.
So you've got allium,
I mean, that looks like a chive flower.
you've got azure bluette, you've got the blue orchid, got a blue cornflower, a dandelion, lily of the valley.
Did you say so?
I mean,
No,
I've
no, you
seen
can say
Breaking
so.
Bad. That'd kill you.
So have fun with that one. You've got an ox-eye daisy, tulips, poppies, and then there's the ingredients that don't even exist. So now we got this guy. This is the eye blossom, which, as you may guess from that name, isn't real.
Okay.
It was part of
True.
their new update. It was meant to be from a spooky update. It's a bit strange. What it does that's interesting is it opens at night. Gives you blindness if you put it into your suspicious stew when it's open.
Oh.
And when it's closed, it gives you nausea.
So it's like the opposite of a mussel.
Basically, now this is another made-up flower called the torch flower. The torch flower in Minecraft is the torch plant in reality. There are these beautiful red-hot
red-hot
coca,
poker
as they're
plants.
also known as. They were used a lot in like African tribal medicines.
Do
What's
they
their
have an
effect?
effect?
Yes.
They're as far on the way out as they are on the way in.
Yeah, exactly. They are also
in
a
the
night
name.
vision one. And so our final one here,
That looks sad.
it is sad. This is called the wither,
Wither rose.
which gives you the withering effect, which is basically just consistent pain for a while. But those are our 12. How do you boys feel?
It feels like there's a lovely balance between poisonous mushrooms and poisonous flowers. And we've
Pretty
got to
much.
collect something
Poisonous food.
that's safe to consume and cook
Yeah.
and be interesting and delicious.
I reckon we can get away with it because I reckon we can find versions of those and we can play with the
boy.
definition and/or spelling of flower.
So, with that, I think it's time I send you off foraging, as you put it, to the supermarket or wherever you can find.
Let's go to the Amazon. I think we'll be able to find a lot of them from there.
I'm intrigued to see how you interpret some of these. Come back and
this
show
should
me
be
the
fun.
way.
Yes, chef.
It's going to be playful, but good fun.
Let's go for it. And with all my
Waiting for
in-game
him up
knowledge
there.
suitably dumped on them, the boys are off to bring our pixelated recipe into full three-dimensional reality. How are they going to make a stew incorporating some of these interesting flowers? How will they make the base stew with only 2 mushrooms? And how will they look the part while doing it? Huh? Why is that in my script? Wait, does that mean? Yes, loyal theorists, I know it's been a while, but we've been cooking
new
up something
theorists
special
here.
just for you. We saw your comments, we heard your feedback, and so we put our heads together and had a lot of,
Park.
extremely serious conversations. And now we are finally ready to let you in on our big secret. That's right, we are so back. Theoryware has returned, and this time the gang's all here. Get ready for new shirts, new hoodies, and new accessories featuring all 5 channels in the Theoryverse that you know and love. No matter which channel is your favorite, GT Live, style, game, food, or film, you are represented here. And who knows, I've heard Theoryware can be a great conversation starter. Maybe you'll make friends with a fellow theorist next time you're out and about. Or maybe wrap yourself up in a super soft theorist hoodie paired with some cozy socks while watching the new episodes in the comfort of your own home. Regardless, we truly hope that you have as much fun with this new and improved Theoryware as we did. Jump into the comments and let us know which item is your favorite and help us celebrate the thing that makes the theorist community so special. You. Well, what are you waiting for? Shop the drop by scanning the QR code on
Get
screen
some.
or by clicking the link in the description. Oh, that must be Ben and Mike getting back
time
from their
for the
foraging.
food.
So, now that you have your brand new Theoryware, let's head to the kitchen and see
let's
what the
see what
boys
they
are
got.
cooking. And if they're cooking. And like that, we're back and you've been shopping.
Yeah, we've literally bought all the mushrooms, but only 2 types to stick to the pixel rules.
Yeah, so
Okay,
what did
got
you
some
end up
mushrooms.
going with for these? You've got a classic brown mushroom.
Yeah,
obviously.
classic sort of button mushroom, and then nice sort of king oyster mushroom, just because
King
well, they
oyster.
are the king of the mushroom world, and they've got more texture, more bounce, good body, and they work nice in this as well.
Slightly sweeter.
Yeah, yes, certainly when
we
you
go.
cook them out. Basically,
mustard
we'll
broth,
go
okay.
in and saute off all the mushrooms, and then we'll go in with some flowers or kind of plants. Some robust
You could forage these.
rosemary, thyme, obviously bay leaves because chefs must. And then we'll throw in some plain flour,
Yep.
as in ground wheat, around the buttery mushrooms to form a roux, and then we'll use a mushroom broth to form a velouté around them. So
basically
it's
a mushroom
essentially
stew.
mushroom, plants and flowers.
Let's see.
Wow, so this is what it's like working with professionals. This already sounds delicious, you know, as long as you like mushrooms. But technically, this was the easy part. Now we're on to the more unique ingredients. At least I thought they were. But now that I have a professional chef involved, this may have been more simple than I first thought.
I have a soft spot for the very, very easy, granted, but the chive flowers or the allium flowers.
Okay.
Because I've grown them at home. They are so easy to grow even on a balcony, but I think we can just go heavy allium.
What does that mean then? What do you mean by
do you mean by
allium?
that?
Because it sounds like you know what that means more than I do.
Onion family, so
Okay.
chives, leeks, garlic, onion, obviously spring onions or salad onions. And I think, given this is so earthy, raw allium into dishes,
Okay.
i.e. raw onion to finish a dish, or some spring onions or some chives, can give you a real acidity that just kind of lifts a dish. And I think with the earthiness, that'll actually work. So simple,
this
job
is
done.
gonna-
What Ben forgot to mention, but has since told me in an email, is that onions are also high in quercetin, which is a natural anti-inflammatory. Get it? Anti-inflammatory, as in fire resistance? Hey, don't blame us for that pun. I'm just happy there is some connection to realism in this game that we can achieve. All that's left to do now is taste it.
Excellent decision, getting me to forage and then taste and be no part of the team.
Well, I'm
Important.
glad that
Very
works for you.
important.
Very much for me, obviously.
I think we'll get a lot of copy and paste on
Yeah,
that.
I think we'll start to see a recurring theme there. That sharpness from the spring onions, it really cuts through.
And when we're developing a lot of recipes, we often consider adding a little bit of raw onion with its sliced red onions, but not just to garnish, enough so you actually bite through it and get the texture, because that allium
nice.
warmth is really good in earthy flavours.
Very thick and pleasurable.
Well, there you go. And on that note, let's move on. So,
Yeah,
we
next.
have Azure Bluettes next, but I'm seeing you're holding a red leafy vegetable.
that?
Yes, we know that this kind of stuff is bitter, so we've just gone for some kind of bitter leaves. Swiss chard, really good, wonderful
Swiss
because
chard,
of the
okay.
vibrant red, which so often when you see it in things like toadstools and mushrooms, you know avoid, but actually here
Fair.
it's delicious, just a bit bitter. And then we're going to serve it with some alfalfa sprouts and these gorgeous
alfalfa.
leaves.
And alfalfa sprouts, you were saying there's a similar flavour profile.
A similar
but-
flavour profile, but actually
really?
as something you can buy. These are hugely popular and trendy in sort of nutrition and well-being stores, but quite a dainty little option. All right,
Fair.
come and not die.
My
It's
good.
almost like he doesn't trust you. What have you done to him over the years, Ben?
He's very trusting. There's not much of it, but he's
That is very true.
Okay, phrasing. Oh,
I was saying bitter.
bitter from the chard and the
Yeah.
sprouts.
Adds that grassy note to the earthy tones of the mushrooms, but yeah, very much more on the bitter side rather than overpowering some of that umami even a little bit with
Yeah.
some of how bitter that is. The crunch is nice.
For me, the curlies on top, just a little bit
Too much.
Too bitter.
Very popular in salads because they have that wonderful crunch. I quite like them, but they are very vegetal.
I can imagine with quite an acidic dressing, that would really work
yeah,
nicely.
that's a word.
Okay, so a little more mixed on that one, but certainly
True,
better than
true.
a stew that makes you blind. Next on our list is
next?
tulips,
Tulips.
a flower which I've now learned isn't really edible outside of the petal. Although, good luck finding ones that aren't covered in pesticides. However, according
Yeah.
to Ben, if you do manage to find one, or you just grow them yourselves, depending on the colors, you get flavors that are similar to things like peas and cucumber.
So that's what we've
Really?
gone for. Cucumber,
Yeah.
which all I've done is take the
Cool.
wet bits out the middle, and we're just going to put that through. So we've actually got the crunch and the snap of
Okay.
cucumber as a texture in it. And pea shoots are absolutely phenomenal.
No,
A
you
wonderful
actually eat
garnish
tulips.
on seafood dishes, pasta
learn.
dishes, risottos.
I've never had these before, but I totally get it. So often there are like foodie things where it's like, oh, you get hints of this, like, and I'm sitting there going, do I get that? But that I absolutely get.
fair.
Subtle pea, but in that kind of grassy, florally way that would probably, I would assume, match what we get from tulips. But of course, as with any experiment, and with Ben
much.
being the chef that he is, he decided to change things up on me at the last minute.
I'm actually standing here thinking this was our plan, and now I'm thinking I might change it.
Oh, what's the plan?
The middles might be better.
Wow, gonna keep the wet bit.
Yeah, and I know this is supposed to be an experiment, and we're making it up as we go along. I'm going to go double wet and put it through.
See, Ben? Now you're thinking like a theorist. Welcome to the channel. But while Ben is changing up the plan, I am eating these pea shoots and having an interesting experience. Oh, that's what's happening. I'm having a ever so subtle allergic reaction. It's fine. Turns out, there's a reason I've never had these before, but with antihistamines in hand, I'm all good and ready to try this stew. I'll just eat around the pea shoots this time.
Dig in, Mike, this one's a bit different.
No, that is subtle, but
Hang on,
nice.
Because of all the extra moisture we've added through wet cucumber, it's actually a nicer eating consistency.
Genuinely adding something, which is ironic because cucumber tastes of not much.
Until you put it into a big vat of water in a hotel lobby, and then it's the most cucumbery thing you've ever tried.
Right, yeah.
And I think my chefy instincts love these flavours because just, I think, smell alone, they take you back to a greenhouse or an allotment or a grow your own, or just basically very spring summer vibes.
Cucumber sandwiches.
Well, you know, foraging around the overworld.
That one. I just forgot where I was for
game style.
Okay, so at this point, we've had a few flowers that aren't truly edible, but Ben and Mike have put their true theorist brains to work using quote-unquote notes of other flavors to get us as close as we can. And on the whole, they've worked relatively well. But as we all know, sometimes we theorists love to overcomplicate things, and there are actually a bunch of flowers in Minecraft that we can just straight up eat, rather than adding garnishes or other vegetables. So let's start with the humble dandelion. So, dandelions. It's a flower we all know. What are we doing for it?
It's a flower that's actually already quite a culinary flower. So the dandelion root you can use in all sorts of things, but here the dandelion flowers we've picked up dried. You can either just make a tea from it, so we've literally just steeped it in hot water. Have a smell. Okay. Very floral, earthy,
grassy,
but also they say quite honey-like, but not sweetness. So you get almost like the perfume floral of honey, no sweetness, but I am going to add some honey into it, so you now get the flavour and the sweetness. If we just strain it off.
Okay, and there it goes.
The liquid we're left with should now be sweet from honey, but perfume from dandelion. A dandelion tea.
Look at that.
The question is, does that work
with the mushrooms?
With the depth of the mushroom? I don't know, but it's going to be pixelated, so I don't care.
Thank you, Mike, for...
Okay, I mean, the fact that we're getting, like, you know, not only the soup, but we're also getting tea from this stuff. What? It's interesting, to say the least. Anyway.
Stopping by once again. You've got the best job here.
I've been living the dream.
It's great.
Although there's a little bit of lawnmower.
Yeah.
Lawnmower?
Yeah, we went through the garden.
That's the name.
You know what? That would work. I mean, this is Minecraft. It's all about foraging and finding your own food. So, like, this is quite literally...
I mean, they are scattered all over lawns and meadows and parks in the UK, certainly.
All over the place. But this is the tea that it comes from, which I want to try before I think about what it's going to do to that.
Please do. And then we mixed a little bit into the veloute to loosen it slightly. And finished it with some of the leaves.
Very mellow. It's nice. Again, I know it's at the sweetness, and we had a little bit of honey to help with that sweetness. That honey, ginger, lemon tea vibe. It's very much like that. It's just the grassy, sort of earthy, but it's nothing like really potent.
No, it's the perfect balance between sweetness, so subtle that it just takes the edge off the grassiness, which makes it really, really tasty.
So now, here's it mixed in.
The mushroom loosened up, but actually I think it's the leaves. Again, I think in that dry form.
I don't know if I ever make this, but
a slight pepperiness.
Oh yeah, delicious. The texture's really pleasant, actually.
But a subtle shift.
It's very, very subtle. Like, you could put more in and boil it down over time, to be fair. But now having, like, the sauce loosened up is nice. I almost expect it to be almost, I feel like, gritty or, like, bitty. Like, when you get, like, something stuck in your teeth and you're like, oh, that won't shift. But it kind of just melts almost.
But it hasn't made it worse.
No, and that's the key thing. Like, if you got a bowl of this in your pirate ship, in your fortress, or wherever it is you find it, I mean, you probably wouldn't want to eat it because it's probably been there for centuries and you don't know if the refrigeration's good. But it tastes all right.
And should keep hunger locked up until lunch.
And he's not saying that just to make a pun. Dandelions do have an actual saturation effect thanks to the vitamin A inside them. You see, vitamin A regulates hormones like leptin, which can act as a satiety hormone that usually is produced by fat cells to signal to the brain that you have enough energy, therefore reducing your appetite. So I guess that's another win for Mojang and another win for us and the taste of these stews. Sadly, this more direct approach won't continue being as successful as we'd like going forward. Oxeye daisies, cornflowers, and poppies all have dried variants that you can use to make teas. They just don't really taste of all that much. Yeah, it's just kind of like slightly grassy water. The very subtle flavors just get completely overpowered by the strong, rich flavors of the mushroom base. Ben did try his best to make up for it with visuals.
Well, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, and the confession is, that's all.
Oh, really?
It looks fantastic, but we've not added anything to the stew. It's really just there for you eat with your eyes.
Aesthetic,
Smells
yeah.
good.
At least with the poppy, there is some extra texture thanks to the poppy seeds, but overall, the literal flowers have just kind of been disappointing. Though there was one that even I felt pretty confident would change our tune. The
wither rose?
So
boy,
these,
good luck.
I reckon.
Oh, rosewater.
Much more familiar.
Much more.
And on the scale of like petals and flowers,
This should be
and
interesting.
to use, these deliver
Alright.
flavour.
They're much more in that sort of stronger rather than just vaguely grassy.
But also because somebody else has already done the hard work. They extracted all of the deliciousness into something like rosewater, which you will find in all sorts of sweets and confectionery, I think most typically and famously in Turkish Delight.
Yes.
Delight.
So,
Never had it.
so good. Will they work with mushroom?
Yeah, so in a savoury dish.
Who knows? Something else from the florist?
Rose.
And or the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. You're left with it. It's not immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's almost like mint when you breathe in and you get that sense of like that's the
see that
fragrance. Yeah,
gross.
almost like that.
We always say that 80% of flavour comes from what you smell and not what you taste. And I completely agree. It's all in the nose.
from the
of that
rosewater.
particular-
Aeration.
Definitely are left with Turkish Delight.
Yeah.
Yeah, aren't you?
Are you a fan?
Not massive.
No, I'm
Yeah, fair
honestly
enough.
similar. So maybe the fact the previous ones didn't have much flavor was really a blessing in disguise. This one makes me feel like I'm taking wither damage every time I take a bite. So disappointing in the flavor department, but not in accuracy, I guess. Thankfully, we only have one more tea-based flower to get through, or at least that's what I thought this was going to be.
Yeah, torchlight.
This is, again, pushing the
Dragon
extremes
fruit?
of what may or may not work.
Sure.
Okay, so now
But
you're acting
you
dragon
gave
fruit.
me
How?
The eye blossom.
Yeah, the eye
Apparently
blossom.
that's dragon fruit flower, which is a thing.
Okay.
The flower of the dragon fruit, and you infuse it to make a tea.
Okay.
Now, we know that not all teas have turned out to be the best thing to add to our stews. This one may well be a good example. So we have done exactly that, infused the dragon fruit flowers into a tea. So it's an example of a flower that is nocturnal.
Yeah.
So it either awakens at night and closes during the day, or vice versa, but it reacts to light.
Oh.
And dragon fruit is another example of that.
Oh, that's
Really?
interesting. I didn't realise that flowers did that anyway.
And then we've ended up with this.
And I mean, it looks right. Like these are obviously dried, but we'll show some on screen. But they are white flowers with these yellow
at
centers,
that.
which is very much like the eye blossom. However, given how well the
Yeah,
flower-infused
poppy,
teas have
lovely.
gone so far, Ben is going to spice things up a little, not just by adding the tea, but the dragon fruit itself.
Yeah.
Ooh, now
You never thought you were going to see that in a bowl of mushroom stew, were you?
No,
I didn't actually.
this is
no.
definitely the oddest one we've done today,
But going
Well, it
back to the
tastes good.
cucumber and how that worked,
with
No.
like a slight sweetness to it.
Let's see. Oh,
it starts to feel like it's going to do something.
it doesn't.
doesn't.
It has a bad turn.
Do you think?
So I agree with you.
Well, that
There's that
didn't
thing at the
work.
beginning. It feels like something's about to happen, maybe some kind of interesting
Yeah.
flavor combination. Then it kind of doesn't, and then I got like a slight aftermath of like, oh no, that doesn't. There's something wrong with that. That doesn't quite work.
But for me, that's what dragon fruit is, full stop. It's
Oh, really?
a beautiful fruit, but I think it always under-delivers. Compared to a kiwi, which I think behaves very similar in the mouth, it's similar black seeds, very similar texture, cold out of the fridge. You eat a kiwi and you go, oh, that's really sharp and tangy and delicious. Dragon fruit, you think, oh, it's going to do, and it never kind of goes anywhere.
Yeah.
I think.
Fur coat and no pants is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think
I like
pants.
it just never quite gets there. So when you've got all the earthy mushroomness, I think it gets lost.
Needless to say, we all feel a little nauseated after that one. Though, thankfully, not blind. But if you thought that one was weird, trust me, friends, it's only gonna
There's
get
more.
weirder. Because this is when Ben has to start getting, let's call it, creative with these interpretations.
boy.
Especially when it comes to our next contender.
I'm intrigued by the curiosity of this one. Blue orchid, not something we can get hold of or would want to put anywhere near our food, and certainly not ingest. However,
bad
I
idea.
recognised the word orchid and went immediately to one of my favourite ingredients, vanilla. Tenuous link,
Right?
Vanilla, huh?
join the dots.
I mean,
vanilla
yes,
mushroom
so
stew.
blue orchid, again,
This I gotta see.
knowing this going in, blue orchid it's not strictly poisonous, I don't think, but it's not going to do your belly much good.
No.
So I can see why you've gone in a different direction, as was the
Probably
challenge,
safe.
but vanilla?
Well,
to be safe, you
I've
know?
got no idea if it's going to work with mushrooms, but it can work in savoury with soft poached fish. It works lovely in like a tomato vinaigrette. Will it work with the earthiness of mushrooms? I don't know, but it's the closest
never
thing
know
we
until you
had
try.
to orchid and blue orchid. Besides, the packaging was blue. So So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the seeds out from the inside.
Again,
As soon as it
liberties
hits
here.
the heat of the pan, you get a second round of vanilla flavour. Put a little bit of lemon.
Oh.
If I ever do sautéed mushrooms on toast with creme fraiche or some cream through at the end, a little bit of lemon again just lifts it.
Yeah.
And the reason I put it into this one above the others is because if you're not careful, it could end up being associated with sweet. And I think the lemon will just have a little bit of acid that bring it back.
And this is why I got Ben to come on and help me, because I wouldn't have known that. I'd have just put something into it and gone, that'll do, and it would have been awful. Yeah, I'm not so sure a bit of lemon is going to be your saving grace here.
Yeah, go on, buddy.
You can probably smell it in the room.
Can. Is this going to work?
No idea.
No idea.
Okay.
This isn't designed to necessarily be
Work?
good.
Let's see. Good luck.
It doesn't not work.
Does
Right?
it not
It's
work?
very close to not working. It's not offensive.
Close to not
Weird
working.
enough, it's not
but
clashing.
No.
But I
edible.
get
Okay.
vanilla and I get mushroom, and they never really overlap
Yeah.
or interlock.
It's
They're kind of very separate.
Just kind of sits in that weird middle ground. It's not necessarily something you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Does it not suck?
Do you know, it's less disgusting
Seriously.
than you'd think.
Let's move on to another one quick.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
go.
yeah, next.
Although, honestly, I wasn't sure I
Doesn't
wanted
anything.
to.
Okay.
See, our next ingredient has me a little worried because, as
How
Mike
so?
said so well at the start of the episode,
I mean, I've seen Breaking Bad. That'd kill you.
I mean, the in-game effect is poison, so putting one of those in a stew would be accurate, but I'm really hoping that Ben has come up with an alternative that doesn't mean taking a trip to the ER. American healthcare is scary.
And I'll be
Yeah,
honest,
no
what you
kidding
did
with the
mention
bills.
I'd never heard of. After a little bit of Googling, Lily of the Valley, it looks very, very similar to wild garlic.
And also
Yeah.
not poisonous.
And it's much better flavour, great for chefs to play with for a very seasonal time of the year. And then I realised it's late July. That's also impossible. So we're just going to make garlic butter and wilt some baby spinach, and you'll have a similar effect that will also be delicious in a mushroom stew.
Really?
Whew, crisis averted. Once again, why I wanted real professionals and not Santi, who would have inevitably just tried to kill me for the lols. But we still need to convince Mike that he isn't going to die today.
Okay, but it's not
Hello,
actually
Mike.
Lily of the Valley.
No, you're not going to die.
No
for this.
actual
Okay,
lilies,
great,
I
but
promise
it's
you.
almost got that slightly fragrant rawness to it in that you haven't cooked it out for ages, so you still get.
Enough of that allium,
Yeah.
which we know is good.
Yeah, that's really it's subtle,
Okay.
but it's palatable
you-
enough that you're like, I can tell that's.
I was about to say, did
but
you
it
go for a
doesn't,
second
like,
bite?
overpower
Guess it
the
must have fallen
entire
off the
thing.
floor.
That works. Who'd have thought the poison one that you're not supposed to cook would actually be the one where you're like, oh, this works.
Yeah, just bend a few rules.
Don't take that as a rule moving forward.
Yeah, don't
This
eat the
is
lily of the
working
night.
and is the closest
do
we're
that.
probably going to get realistically. Now, if you're keeping
Don't
track,
do that.
you'll know that we're on to our final challenge, at least in the flour department, the
one more.
torch flour,
Torch
the
flour.
red hot poker. We covered this guy in our
Yeah.
Sifa episode when I first took over the channel, and even then I remember looking it up and finding out that while it was used for real-world herbal medicines for a multitude of ailments, humans shouldn't really be digesting it. So how is Ben going to bring this one to life?
I like these briefs because they're more tenuous. There's no right or wrong answers, but you can make up a great story.
What is that over there?
Its kind of purpose is night vision, which means we need good eyes, which
Okay.
means we need lots of vitamin A, and the step before vitamin A is beta carotene. So beta carotene our body converts into vitamin A, good for our eyes. So things like anything orange, anything like carrots. I thought sweet potato would be nice. So what I've done is boiled some diced sweet potato.
Okay.
We're going to add that into our mushroom stew.
Yeah.
Along with arugula, which I've just chopped up, which will
Arugula.
wilt down. And that's got lutein in it, which is basically something else your eye needs for good eye health.
Okay.
And then some chili
Here,
oil,
of
because
course.
that's the fire and the torch.
It's
the kind of
yeah, torch. I
Chili
gotta say,
oil.
like,
Oh,
that was
boy.
one of the ones I looked at. I don't know what they're going to do with this. I think that's a really nice interpretation, and it's a really good way of handling it, which is going to make this one feel really different to everything else as well.
if that's not suspicious, I don't know what is.
Mike!
Hi, your turn. Hi, Santi.
You've been calling me all episode.
Do you want to try it or no?
Can I?
No.
Yes!
I wish I looked like
Can
that.
I?
Well, I think this looks a little better than
I
everything we've
love
served you
the
so
look
far.
of this.
True.
Dig deep,
but
there's all
let's
sorts
see.
underneath.
Oh, we've got additions. Right, here we go. Ooh, peppery. No, chili oil.
Well, oh yeah, there it
How much
is.
chili
And
oil
once
did you add?
the
The half the bottle?
richness of the mushroom
Sorry.
stew dies down, the pepperiness of the Szechuan oil comes through.
Szechuan oil. I like it. It's definitely got dimensions.
It feels like the first proper stew we've had, where you would typically have a lot more going on, but that heat is nice.
Torch flour, which means it's going to allow you to see in the dark.
Fantastic. And I will save on electricity during fridge raids at midnight. That's the best by far so far.
Sure you'll
I
lose
would
it.
agree. It's really well balanced. It feels very full. It's got heat. It's got the umami from the mushrooms.
The natural sweetness of sweet
The
potato.
flowers actually add something.
Yes, I do have one more thing I want to try before we end, but we've done it. That's 12 suspicious stews, all done and dusted. Every single variety the game offers is here.
And I've got a degree in flora and fungi.
Yeah, I've noticed these have appeared.
Well, when we were talking about this, I understood that kind of like life points in the game was like, I thought it was a chicken drumstick at first, but it is a ham hock. So we've put some ham hock to go with it.
Nice.
It's otherwise a plethora of mushroom stew.
What do we think? This has been an experiment. We've all been trying this for the first time.
Variety is the spice of life. I think they all look really different and quite inviting. But a lot of edible flowers rely on decoration or sweet, delicate desserts with cream and sugar and meringue where they have a place. They get quite lost in mushroom. I think my favourites were the ones that added sweet potato or spinach or allium or were adding something to the base rather than just the top.
So basically the ones that kind of required a little bit more interpretation than the very literal, like, this plant is edible, so we'll put it in.
Or the ones that actually get closer to the cookbook in the first place that had a few other root vegetables and stuff in it, you know?
All of these dishes feel like small parts of a bigger thing. You've got spring onion here, you've got garlic is somewhere, that one. Like the poppy seeds to some degree, you've got the sweet potato from the torch plant there. So there's a bunch of like small pieces of the puzzle, almost like you've got one stew that has then been split apart into 12 dishes. And so, I might regret this.
I know what you want to do.
You're not going to blend them all, are you?
Now, putting them all together.
Now I know why you told me not to wash up that.
Yeah, don't wash up the big pot, we're gonna need it. So let's put all these together and see if the final concoction, if they balance each other out or whether it's just one horrible mess. You somehow made this look good.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got mushroom left in my belly though. We put the ham hock on top, we mixed it all together. It's now got floral, it's got spinach, it's got sweet potato, it's got poppy seeds,
got one of everything.
Cucumber, it's got just about everything.
Well,
Smells of vanilla.
Oh,
Vanilla right through.
That is not for me.
That is more vanilla-y
Oh,
now
Tom's like,
than in the
I'm
112
not liking
we had
it.
earlier on.
it's also got, I'm getting little hints of things like the honey and
The
some of the rose, yeah. So, somehow all the bad things have risen to the top and I don't understand how they've done that. Because they were all kind of like subtle, they kind of were, not really. They've all combined to create a super bad.
Some of those we had before were perfectly okay.
I blame the ham.
Well, you know, who
Sure about
knows?
that?
Maybe Mojang was kind of on the right path with one big stew that kind of stood out as all of that.
That's what's missing, lentils.
Perhaps not accurate in the game,
No.
but if you're buying a cookbook,
Yeah.
you want the food that you cook
to be good.
Nice. Well, that was the point of today.
No kidding.
Was to try all these things, this video game that doesn't make sense, shouldn't make sense. We did it anyway, and I think we've learned a lot from it. I know I certainly haven't learned a lot about plants and how
That's
they
to keep it
use
in the video
food,
game,
the
huh?
different kinds of variants there are, and the creative genius that actually goes behind cooking. Thank you guys so much for joining me and
been a lot
indulging
of
me
fun.
here.
I just ate stuff. I had a great time.
It's been a well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
But it's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Sorted Food have actually got a video over on their channel which you can watch where they have asked me to taste test.
Well, there you go. Sorry. I mean, I'm not sure they were going to do the thing, but anyway. So, glad things worked out for them. But honestly, I had nothing else to add. That's why I didn't pause much. Anyway, till next time. Adios.